While Peter Frampton is by no means an unfamiliar name, a certain generation will only know him for his hit live album Frampton Comes Alive. Many generations after that might have never heard of him unless they liked it when their parents played it. But when he's known and talked about, it's usually for his hits and too often not for his guitar playing. He was so much more than just a teenage heartthrob with some hits. He is a great guitar player that sounded very different from his peers. So let's talk about what makes Peter Frampton such a good guitar player. Before all the hits, there was a time when he was a young guy playing guitar next to Steve Marriott and Humble Pie. And already then, he could play with the best of them.
I wanna tell you
What made him stand out at the time was actually a conscious effort he made very early on in his career. He liked the blues, but he felt like it wouldn't amount to anything if he would do the same thing as people like Eric Clapton were doing. So he chose a different path. He took more influences from jazz, mainly Django Reinhardt. This resulted in a very different melodic approach in his playing that sets him apart from what others were doing at the time. He stretched out of the pentatonic blues scale more often than not to give you different flavors, but most of all, his signature sound. If you listen to Frampton's lead work and place it in a time frame of when it was released, it was something unique and different. But it wasn't just limited to his lead playing, just listen to how he composes chord choices and progressions. But most notably, he managed to be different while still writing extremely accessible music. Like I mentioned before, he is best known for his hugely successful live album Frampton Comes Alive. And while it is a prime example of how good of a guitar player he is, there's so much he's done before and after that that's worth to take a listen to. Before his hit live record, he made great music with Humble Pie, as well as some great studio records as a solo artist. And even though he had a tough time overcoming the huge success of his live album afterwards, he has remained to make great music to this day. And that leads me to one of his most remarkable feats. A lot of guitar players of his generation rest on their laurels and are a lot less capable than they used to be back in the day. Frampton always kept evolving because he wanted to, and I think he's one of the few guitar players who actually got better with age, even in his 60s. He might have lost his hair, but he still kept growing as a guitar player because he kept working on his chops. To me, it seems like Peter Frampton is one with music. Even with a rare muscle disease, he keeps performing, and you can still see the pleasure in his eyes and the passion in his face. And that joy for music is what you hear when he plays guitar, whether it's an instrumental studio album or a hit-filled live record. So, if you've never done so, go listen to his music or go listen to more of his music and pay attention to his guitar playing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you next time.